and it's a lot of stuff. But for some reason, I've been in a mode where I've been watching a lot, and that's what's happening here. I just completely enjoyed this book, or story, or no. Hi everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. For today's video, I thought I would kind of get a little bit off the book game and talk about some things that I have been watching. And I sort of go through these phases where I'm either, it's like feast or famine. I'm either like not paying attention to anything on TV, or I find myself like compulsively finding stuff on TV. And I need to get off iTunes because they keep doing these like specials of like selling like full seasons for $5. So I literally just got like season 1 of Riverdale, which I love and I'm obsessed with. I think it's the best of the 3 seasons that are out. I feel like there was like a gradual decline, which breaks my heart, but apparently season 4 is gonna be amazing. So I'm in it, I'm still gonna watch it. But anyway, I've like found stuff there. I'm like back on the Hulu, Netflix trail, Amazon Prime. When in doubt, I'm watching old Murder, She Wrote episodes on there, but don't worry, I'm not going to talk about that this time around. But I did want to talk about some of the shows I'm watching, and yeah, let's go. Let's talk TV. And the first show is The Five by Harlan Coben. And I watched this actually before I went to Thriller Fest. I had started this a while ago, but like I just wasn't in the zone, and then I restarted it before I went on vacation, and then I like binge the entire thing because it was so good. And it's like an 8 or 10 part series on Netflix. It was made for Netflix. He has a contract with them to create and produce a whole bunch of shows. So this one is about a group of friends. They're all, I shouldn't say all, he has 2 that are out right now and they're both set in England. And The Five is about a group of friends, and when they were children, it's sort of like these 4 friends, 3 boys and a girl, and then the sort of lead character, his younger brother. The mom's like, take your younger brother out with you, and they're out in the woods and they're playing, and the younger brother disappears and is never seen again. So when this show opens, we sort of see that opening scene of the boy goes missing, and then we fast forward, I think maybe it's like 15 or 20 years ahead, and one of the friends from that group is a police officer. He's at like this very brutal crime scene, and the brother's blood and DNA is at the scene. So the boy who's been missing all these years, no one's heard from him. They've never found a body. There is a convicted pedophile creeper who has confessed to being the one who kidnapped him, who's in jail. But what's happening? So the friends are brought back together again. They're still friends in the present day. The girl had moved away and then she since moved back. She's now married, she's got a kid, but they all come together, and it's sort of like all these secrets from the past come up. There's like all this messed up stuff happening in the present. You see sort of the mystery, the obsession with finding out what happened, the guilt that fills, you know, the older brother, the parents who are still grappling with it. So much stuff going on in this show. I loved it. I thought it was well done. I thought it was suspenseful. It was definitely like next episode type of thing, and totally recommend it. Also, if you haven't watched Safe, which is another kind of 8-10 part series, I don't remember how many, Michael C. Hall is the lead in that one. And in that one, he is a single father of 2. I want to say his wife passed away. I watched this a while ago. Like I watched this maybe like 2 years ago, but it's worth mentioning. And his oldest daughter, who's a teenager, she like goes to a party one night and never comes home. So it becomes, you know, the search for her, and it's the police, and there's other stuff at the school, and the girl's friends and her boyfriend, and she has a younger sister, and it's the people in the neighborhood. They live behind this gated community, which is where you're supposed to be safe. So it's another one that's really good. I powered through it. Highly, highly recommend both of those on Netflix. I want to say it was the last time I did one of these videos, and I talked about how I was watching What If on Netflix, which is the Renee Zellweger kind of like noir from the people who did Revenge kind of story, and I finally finished it. I watched like I probably watched like the first 75% of it, and then I stopped. It was just, it's ridiculous. I finally finished it, and it managed to be even more ridiculous. So this is one of those shows. So she is this woman, Anne Montgomery, who I don't even, she's like a best-selling author and a millionaire, billionaire, whatever. She invests in this poor girl's, you know, down on her luck, like science something, it doesn't even matter. It's just all so ridiculous. But basically, like, signing a contract with her is signing a deal with the devil, although there's no supernatural elements to this. But it's also like a little bit of indecent proposal, where she basically is like, I will fund your company in exchange for one night with your husband. And he can never tell you what happens. We can never speak of it again, because if he does, then your company becomes 100% mine. It's just so ridiculous. So they do it, of course. And it is, you know, kind of like what happens from that moment on. And there's their circle of friends and the decisions people make, and, you know, it's sort of how their lives unfold. And it's just, it's so, like, I mean, it's so cheesy in some ways, and these are not spoilers. Like in the first episode, the husband, who is like a former baseball player who like got injured and wound up kind of like tanking his career, and he's got a horrible temper. So now he's like a bartender, and I don't even know if he does something else. Oh yes, he's a paramedic and wants to be a fireman. So he like works at this bar at this like posh hotel, and his wife comes and he's like, oh, I got us a free room. And she goes upstairs and she's like in the bathtub, all bubble bathed up, and she's probably like drinking wine or champagne or something ridiculous. And he comes in his like bartender outfit, and she like pulls him into the tub, into the bubble bath, and there's like bubbles everywhere. I mean, it's so dumb. And then Nolan from Revenge, who I love, Gabriel Mann, is in this, and he's got like this weird mustache and is like such a creeper weirdo in this. And I talked about this, like Toby from Pretty Little Liars is in it. David Annabelle, who was in Brothers and Sisters, who I loved him in that, is like a total creeper in this too. It's just like the creepiest group of people. It all makes no sense. It's preposterous. I think I talked about this, like they like some of the like characters like shroom at one point and have this like natural born killers like tripping experience kind of a thing. It's just, it's so bizarre and so bad. Of course I had to watch it, but I would say if you're looking for something like campy and ridiculous to have going on in the background, you might want to give it a go, but I would not expect high quality entertainment out of this one. Rest assured, I don't only watch crap on TV, and thanks to the Emmy nominations, I was inspired to like check out a bunch of other shows that got nominated, and one that I binged like nobody's business is Dead to Me with Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini on Netflix. Why am I blanking on his name? It'll come to me. This is so good. This is like dramedy. I can't even like explain how good this is. So this opens with Christina Applegate's husband has been killed in a hit and run, and she winds up going to this grief group, and she meets Linda Cardellini, who is there dealing with her own loss. I don't want to give away too much, things that like unfold in the first episode. And they sort of become friends. So Linda Cardellini's character is kind of like a little more like she's sort of self-described as like woo-woo and led by the moon, and like when they first meet, she's like, can I hug you? And Christina Applegate's like, no. And Christina Applegate is a real estate broker. This takes place in Laguna Beach, California. She's a big house. She's got 2 kids. She's now the single widowed mom, kind of grappling with all that. And Linda Cardellini's character is kind of like, I never sleep. I'm up all night. Like, if you ever want to talk, call me. So Christina Applegate winds up calling her one night, and they develop this very fast friendship of sort of bonding together over their grief and helping each other through it. And there's so many moments that are like gut-wrenching. James Marsden is the other person who's in this, who I adore. And he's so good in this show too. But they're so good together. It's twisted. It's a lot about grief, but there are moments of humor to it. They like are in this grief group. They go on like this grief retreat. She's trying to figure out, the cops are trying to figure out who killed her husband because they haven't found the person. So she's like completely obsessed with that. She has her husband's mom who's in the picture. There's just all sorts of stuff, how her kids are dealing with it. I'm doing a crap job describing this show, but watch the first episode. It's like a half-hour show. And I honestly, like, I dare you not to continue with it. It's really well done. They are such great actresses. So good. So good. I'm also still continuing with Slay Along, which is watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We are on season 5 right now. And I have to say, it took me all of June and a little bit of July to watch season 4. And I don't hate on season 4. And there's actually some of my most favorite episodes ever are part of season 4. But season 5, if you're a Buffy fan, is probably the best, I think, in so many ways. And I powered through it. I am actually on the finale. I'm watching my battery light flash, so I'm just gonna stand by, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I just had to change my battery, so hopefully I'm not sitting in like too different of a position. But anyway, back to Buffy. So season 5 is so good. And I'm on the finale. I know everything that's about to happen, and I'm just like bracing myself for it. But I am loving rewatching it. I am doing a poor job of keeping up with Angel. If you are a Buffy fan, you know Angel started, first season of Angel is the 4th season of Buffy, and there's a lot of crossover episodes. And I did watch a couple of them, but not all of them. So whatever, life is going to continue to go on. But I am just loving being back in the Buffyverse. I think I know I've talked about this before. I have not watched Buffy from start to finish in I can't even tell you how long. So I'm loving just sort of like reliving the Buffy life. I have also been watching a stupid amount of Bravo TV because I love it. I love it. I do. I really, really do. I love Southern Charm. I am obsessed with it. I don't even know why. I'm just so fascinated by the dynamic between these people. I feel like they would be super fun to hang out with. I just love, it's like total background noise when I'm doing other things. Kind of same thing for Below Deck Med. I love the sort of like what goes on, never mind like the completely ridiculousness of the guests that come on these super yachts. And I feel like part of it is because years ago, when I was working in Boston, the last place I worked had a commercial and private marina. So we dealt with everything from sort of like the regular like commuter boat and the party boats that would come and go. And we dealt with people with their sailboats and sort of like, people who gave instructions, and then we dealt with the mega yachts and the people who were on them. And, you know, I worked with the marina crew, and I just feel like we weren't like living on the yacht, but I feel like we were the below deck crew and how these people treat you and the things that we had to do for them and things like that. So I don't know, maybe it just gives me like my marina vibes from back in the day, but I just love the show. I just find it like completely endlessly entertaining. And also like these people are ridiculous with what they say and what they do and sort of like the whole mess that they get themselves into. But obviously there's an audience for it, and I apparently am it. And in the best for last, Veronica Mars season 4 came out on Hulu a week early. Like this was supposed to come out July 26th, and they released it a full week early. And I don't know why, and I don't even care, because it basically made my entire weekend. So I'm not done yet. I'm in that place where like I'm trying to savor it, but at the same time I can't wait to get to the end. And I'm loving it right now. I love that it's on Hulu, so they definitely can go darker and deeper, more than they could when they were on network TV, obviously. And I was obsessed with Veronica Mars. Like, love Kristen Bell, love Jason Dohring, who plays Logan Echolls. I've talked about this, the dynamic between Veronica and her dad, Keith. They are my favorite father-daughter duo. I just think their chemistry as actors is amazing. I just think the rapport between them and the relationship between them is so good. I love that everything that happened 15 years ago, you can continue to see the ripple effects to these characters and to the town of Neptune. And I love that they bring back kind of cameos from other people. So if you don't know, Veronica Mars was on for 3 years. She was like a teenage PI, but it's not as cheesy as I just made that sound. And sort of in the opening, it's a year after her best friend Lily Kane has been murdered. Her dad was the sheriff at the time. He accused Lily's father of being the murderer, which was not the case, and he kind of got like run out of the sheriff's department, and like became a PI. And he and Veronica sort of separately and then together have been trying to find out who murdered Lily, because somebody confessed to the murder, but they don't believe that that's who did it. And she is in high school for the first 2 seasons, then she goes to college. It is the relationship with her and her friends, her dad, her mom, sort of the town. And it's this town where it's kind of like the haves and have-nots. So you've got class issues. It's just, there's so much that goes into it. It's so well done. The writing is amazing. It's so smart. And then I want to say maybe around 2014, the movie came out. So it was crowdsourced. Everybody came back from the original cast almost, except for a couple people. It was such a great movie for the fans. Like, it was a complete like love story for the fans, I feel like, with a new mystery put in. And then here we are years later. There's still such a desire for everyone to continue to see how this story goes. So I don't know how the show ends, so I don't know if I hope there's still potential for more, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. Kristen Bell, I seriously like can do no wrong. And the relationship between Veronica and Logan is just probably one of my favorite TV relationships ever. So love it, love it, love it. So that does it for the things that I've been watching lately. And I know it's a lot, and I know it's not all high quality all the time, but sometimes you need to watch things that are just not high quality intelligence wise. But there's a lot of shows I am excited about. So let me know what you guys are watching these days. If you're watching any of these shows, other things you would recommend. I still need to watch The Handmaid's Tale. I've honestly put it off because I know I just need to brace myself to be in like a certain emotional place to be able to watch that. There's a whole bunch of stuff in my queue that I want to watch. So anyway, much like a mood read, a mood watch, and that's what I'm doing these days. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me for a bit today, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Bye.